people of Reddit who have been to prison. Everyone always asks what the worst part was, but did you have any parts you liked? I learned a lot of skills in prison. From sewing to female pleasure. I went to female prison, so it was a little different. I learned how to fight, work out, talk to people, misdirection. I also learned that so many people are in because they don't have another choice. Because they have a record, they can't get a job, can't get an apartment, etc. I really enjoyed how loyal some of the other girls were. I came from a family that lied all the time. And now I have girls who will spend 7 days in solitary instead of telling the guards what I did. Of course. Please don't mistake me, I mean, prison is awful and definitely don't go there. I went in at barely 18 and did 5 years. I learned to play all kinds of card games. I read massive quantities of all different kinds of books. I learned how to work out effectively with no tools. I learned I can survive an entire year in a small box, solitary. I played D&D. The most valuable thing I got from the experience was learning people. I'm autistic, and before prison I presented autistic pretty heavily. Social norms were strange and mostly foreign. I had a long time to do for crimes that were considered honorable by people inside, so I had a pretty low difficulty setting, if that makes sense. Offset by being tiny and queer, which meant I did have to fight when I first got there and a few more times throughout to remind folks I was comfortable with violence. But learning people. Prison taught me how to read threats, it taught me how to gauge who to trust, it taught me to take the temperature of a room, how to persuade or agitate or whatever else I need to do, by watching others and by doing it myself. It taught me how to present myself to appear threatening, to be invisible in crowds, to get away with bullshit, to give people the image of me they expected to get whatever result I wanted from the interaction. All the social skills folks without autism seem to get more easily, I got from 5 years of focused social study. I also got horrific PTSD, so woman shrugging. I learned exactly how far I'll go to stay alive, I learned what I'm capable of in extremity, I learned how to behave in crisis, how to show nothing to others emotionally that can be employed against me. I learned how much I like hard work. If I hadn't wanted to go straight, I learned to be a much better criminal. A lot of these are less things I like than lessons I value, but I hope they're acceptable answers nonetheless. But listen, don't go to prison if you can avoid it. It's real bad, no good, 0/10 do not recommend.